Good afternoon, coming to you from the Skyline Studios high above beautiful Cape Coral here in sunny Southwest Florida. We've got music, sunshine, and some great conversation coming up with our guest, Tony St. Tone. I'm Ken Ullman, and this is the Endless Summer Podcast. So here at the Endless Summer Podcast, we talk about music, the bar scene, and other local happenings in the Cape Coral, Fort Myers area. But mostly we want to tell the stories of the singers and songwriters that make Southwest Florida a great place to hear live music and some very talented people. Before we get the conversation started with our guest, Tony St. Tone, a big shout out to our sponsor, Rum Runners, located right here in Cape Harbor at the southern tip of Cape Coral. Great waterfront views, music 7 days a week, great drinks, and a friendly staff. But best of all, awesome food. They're open every day at 12 noon, and I promise if you stop in, you will not be disappointed. All right, living in Southwest Florida is really like living in an endless summer. And with that comes great live music, which brings me to today's guest, Tony St. Tone. Now, Tony's a singer, songwriter, he's been all over this area and a lot of other places, but I'll let him tell you that. So first of all, welcome, Tony.
Thank you so much for having me. This is awesome.
You bet, and thanks for being here. So tell us about yourself and your story. I got to ask the first question right away. Sure. Are you a native Floridian?
No, like most people that live here, I am not a native Floridian.
So we're still 100 or 1 for 1 or whatever you want to call it on the podcast. We still haven't had a native Floridian on the podcast.
They're like a dinosaur. You're very, very rare. You're not going to find them.
I'll bet. I
bet you like 9 out of 10 people are from somewhere else.
Yeah. It seems like a lot of Midwestern, but you said you're Northeast.
Right. So I'm from Connecticut, and I understand that you're from the Northeast. Also.
Yes. I grew up in Jersey, but I ended up in Pennsylvania for quite a while, and then down to St. Pete for a year or so, and then finally to Cape Coral. But how about yourself? You said you've lived a couple different places too?
So real quick, I started off in Hamden, Connecticut, which is right next to New Haven, and then I moved to Tampa. I was in Tampa for about 10 years. Then I moved to Los Angeles for about 6.5 years, and now I'm in Sarasota.
Wow. So LA for a while, huh?
Yeah.
That's always interesting. I always like to talk to people.
That's got stories all in it.
Exactly. I can only imagine. So how long have you actually playing and singing out?
So I started when I was 14, so definitely it's been over 40 years.
Wow. Yeah. Me too.
It doesn't feel like it, but at that time goes by so quick.
It does. Getting old is overrated. I'm telling you.
I'm still very young at heart.
Me too.
Exactly. Music does that to you.
And you come from a musical background, your family or anything?
No, not really. I mean, my brother and sister both played in the marching band. I mean, they played French horn, or mellophone. But other than that, no. My sister was the one who actually wanted to take guitar lessons, and she said, "Will you come with me?" And I went with her to like this big auditorium where they had one guy at a piano of all things, because he would tune the guitars up, and he handed out sheet music to everyone. And she didn't want to continue, and I did. After like 5 lessons, I said, "Yeah, I want to do this." But the funny thing about that is, I was playing trumpet at the time, and I didn't want to play it any longer. So I said, "Dad, I want to play guitar." And he goes, "You want to play guitar? You're going to buy it." So I started a paper route, and I put some money together, and I bought a guitar for $35, and I still have that guitar.
Musicians can be resourceful when they need it, I noticed. I remember washing dishes at a Ramada Inn in New Jersey, spent the entire summer saving money, and then went out at the end of the summer and blew it all on a Fender Quad Reverb. My dad was rather upset that I blew my entire savings, but I got the amp I wanted.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah. So how long have you been actually? So you've been playing out, you said, for like 40 years or so.
Yeah.
When did you figure out you could sing and play? That's a lot of people ask me that question. Like, how did you know?
You know, my mom always sang around the house. I come from an Italian family. My mom would clean the house and sing in Italian. The first band that I was in, I wasn't really singing. My best friend was singing. But I would just sing here and there, and everyone kept saying, you should be singing a little bit more. And I was like, yeah, but he's the singer. And they're like, yeah, but you could sing too. And so I slowly got the confidence going, maybe I should start singing a little bit more, and then I did. But as far as playing full time, when I left Connecticut, I left with the whole thought process that I'm going to be a full-time musician in Florida. And everyone kept saying to me, "Do you have gigs?" I said, "No, but I'm just going to play full time." And they're like, "But how are you going to do it?" I said, I don't know, but I'm going to play full time.
You're going to figure it out.
And I
That's
just
it.
never let anyone discourage me from that point on.
Oh, that's awesome. And
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's a lot of stuff about your career I'm really interested in hearing. So you play mostly up in the Sarasota area, you say? Per
Yeah,
se,
well,
right?
I'll go from Punta Gorda all the way up to Tampa.
Okay,
You know,
Punta
I've
Gorda,
even come
Tampa.
down as far as Naples. So I do Naples, Port Charlotte, Inglewood.
Oh,
but,
great.
But I
Okay.
also travel, also like around the country, and I've actually traveled around the world also.
I saw some really awesome pictures on your website of some well-known artists, obviously. Did you open for them, or how are you?
So I've probably opened up for probably over 30 national acts.
Wow.
Easily. You know,
That's
if it's
awesome.
Foreigner, Kansas, Jefferson Starship, Little Feat, Great White, Warren. I mean,
Oh, wow.
I've had such a
Wow.
career, so yeah.
I did see the picture of Lou Graham. Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I'm a big
that was
Foreigner
awesome.
fan. Always
Yeah,
a big Foreigner. So are they your influences in a sense, or for your writing and stuff, or are there other people that were more influences around your musical style and your writing?
I love all styles of music. I grew up listening to the Beatles, Billy Joel, like everyone else. But
Yeah.
when it comes to music and it comes to songwriting for me, I love all different styles. I would say I'm more pop rock or acoustic pop rock. But I like some stuff that has an R&B flavor. I have some songs that have rap guest artists. So I love the variety, and I love what the Beatles and bands like Queen have done, where they're not pigeonholed into a certain style. Yeah. They've been able to expand, and that's I have 18 CDs out, and they all have their own little flair.
Oh wow! See, that's awesome too. And your music is up on SoundCloud.
It's on SoundCloud, Spotify, Amazon, Apple. I mean, it's everywhere.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So his music's up in a lot of different places: SoundCloud, Spotify. Make sure you check it out. I was listening to a few tunes the other day; they were awesome. And I always think it's great. I love people. I write myself. You haven't written quite some time, but maybe about 70 or 80 that I record in my own studio. They're out there on Sound. Some of them are out there on SoundCloud, but mostly 80s pop, because that's when I was writing them all the time. Every time I broke up with a girl, they were, I'd write a song. So that's an inside joke for all my friends watching this thing.
Yeah.
No,
oh yeah, we know those songs.
But you know how those are, yeah. So you played with a lot of different artists. Obviously, that means you've probably played a few famous places.
Absolutely, yeah. So some of the places that I played, in Connecticut, there's a place called Toad's Place in New Haven, Connecticut, where everyone who's famous has played.
Okay.
Rolling Stones, Billy Joel recorded his Songs in the Attic album there.
Oh, wow.
So I did a lot of opening acts there, but also did the Schubert Theater. When I lived in California, I played the Whiskey A Go-Go, which I'm a big Doors fan, so that was a really awesome
experience. That would be neat. Yeah.
So, I've just been able to play a lot of venues.
A lot of different venues.
Yeah.
And as a guitar guy, I know, like myself, you got to have more than one, but what's your brand of choice, and what do you usually play?
So I was born with a birthmark that it's a Taylor guitar. So
nice.
So
nice.
It's a Taylor 810. So I love Taylor guitars. I have an endorsement through them. I've been using them since 96, I think. That's when I bought my first one.
Wow.
And I love going to their factory in El Cajon, California, and just they've always taken care of me.
That's really cool. So, and so, what does an endorsement mean? I've never had one, so I don't.
Okay, so an endorsement
what does that mean?
means that if you have an artist endorsement, usually what that means is they'll do any repairs for you. Sometimes they give you free guitars. Sometimes they give you guitars at half price. So I got my GS Mini for free. So when the GS Mini first came out, they gave it to me, Kevin Bacon, the guy from Six we were just talking about.
Tommy Shaw.
Yeah. Another guy from Train. But I was going on a trip to do some shows in Costa Rica. And so I brought it on the plane, I took it out, and I videotaped myself the entire time.
Oh, wow.
And my wife said, "You're going to videotape yourself while we're flying." And she talked to the stewardess, "Can he play?" And once everyone got settled in, she goes, "Grab your guitar." And I'm like, "I don't want to do this." And she goes, "You're going to do this." And that's the clip they ended up using as part of their advertisement.
See that, the spontaneity thing?
It was awesome.
And you do a couple of other things. Like, first of all, you're involved in the Island Hopper song writing a venue, if you will, or tell me about that.
Yeah, so real quick, in Fort Myers, for the past 10 or 15 years, they've been doing the Island Hopper Songwriters Festival that is sponsored by BMI and iHeartRadio, along with, I think, 107 radio station. And they gather all these songwriters from around the country that have written big hits for a lot of national acts, for Garth Brooks, Faith Hill. And so last year was the first year that I was accepted. It's the first year I applied and I got accepted. So, and I just found out today that I'm going to be doing it again this year.
Oh, nice. So, when is it?
So it happens in September. It's a week in September. It's the
Okay.
last week in September. So I'll be playing on the 25th and the 28th.
Awesome. And it's not going to be where it usually is because of the
So
hurricane stuff, right?
because of the hurricane, some of the venues in Fort Myers got knocked down.
Yeah,
So they haven't
yeah.
gotten a chance to rebuild. So it's going to happen some in Cape Coral, some in downtown Fort Myers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so late September, Island Hoppers. Make sure you check that out on the web and come on down and see Tony for that one too. And what about you have a charity organization that you do some work with?
So
too.
I have a nonprofit called Spirit of Music Foundation, and what we do is we collect monies to go and do shows for people that are in need of a life lift. So I've done shows at the LA County Jail, which were incredible.
Wow.
Yeah, I've done shows for the Boys and Girls Club. I've done shows for people in elderly homes.
Wow.
It's music is universal.
I know.
And let me just say, when you can bring music to someone's life, it's amazing.
Yeah.
If it's an old folks' home where people have dementia, and you play a song, their foot starts tapping, and all of a sudden they click right back into reality. Or again, at a jail, where we did these shows in LA County Jail, and I got to tell you, I've done over 6,000 shows, and some of those shows are most incredible shows I've ever done.
Some of the best ones.
Yeah, they're just incredible.
I think anytime you can bring music to someone's life, especially if if there's some issues with their health or anything like that, it just cheers you up. It just cheers people up. It's a natural kind of thing. So and you write your own music. You play cover songs, but you obviously write your own songs. I was hoping maybe you could play one for us.
Yeah, so I'm going to do a song called Breaking All the Rules, and just talking about the LA County Jail. So I said this next song's called Breaking All the Rules, and some guy goes, "Yo, that's what got us in here." I said, "So that's not what it's about. It's about breaking through your own limitations, and if society puts limitations on you, or if you put limitations on yourself, that's the worst thing. Because if you think you can, or if you think you can, you're correct.
Right.
So this is Breaking All the Rules.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Mr. Tony St. Tone going to play us a tune here.
All right, this is a little reggae version. They thought he never lived. Amazingly he did. Oh no, man, she's too young. Look at what she's done. I can't say, you can't say. The truth in our grasp. Reach. Oh Lord, we got to teach it. We're breaking all their rules, breaking all their rules, breaking all their rules now. Meant to be broken. Yeah. We're breaking all their rules, breaking all the rules, breaking all the rules now. Meant to be broken. And they thought we never fly. Heels through the night. Now we bounce around the moon. Amazing what the mind can do. Limitation on imagination decreases destination. You can't do this, you can't do that. No, we're breaking all their rules, breaking all their rules, breaking all their rules now. Meant to be broken. Yeah. We're breaking all their rules, breaking all their rules, breaking all their rules now. Meant to be broken.
Wow.
Just a little taste.
Awesome. Mr. Tony St. Tone. You can catch Tony, by the way, a couple places. There's a place up at Lighthouse up in...
Lighthouse Grill is in Inglewood. Dean, south of the border, is in Punta Gorda.
Twisted Fork.
Twisted Fork is in Port Charlotte, yeah.
And on Facebook, your Facebook is Tony St. Tone Entertainment, right?
It's Tony St. Tone Livornia, and then I also have a St. Tone one.
And there's St. Tone one as well. And then there's a St. Tone website, which is just basically sainttone.com.
Yeah, and it's spelled out. So a lot of times people don't think to spell it out. It's SAINTTONE, spelled out, St. Tone. Yeah.
Awesome. And don't forget to check the Endless Summer podcast website, where we'll be posting this podcast along with the Endless Summer podcast Facebook page as well, which is where the podcast will be. So in the meantime, a big thanks to Tony St. Tone.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Great having you on. Obviously a very talented man, very experienced as well. And it's always good. it's just nice to hear about someone who's been around and really done a lot of different things and shares that experience in their music.
Thank you so much.
I think that's awesome. So, hey, big thanks to Tony. Like I said, I'm Ken Ullman. Enjoy your endless summer here in Southwest Florida. And this is the Endless Summer Podcast.